friend of mine in Vice asked me to do him a favor and rescue an asset who's been kidnapped and imprisoned in a hotel by lost gang members. Supposedly there's 24 biker gang members with vehicles, and our asset is on the second floor of the building. We're at the starting point of the mission, essentially. And this is at the corner here. Note the truck over here. That will always spawn. Let's get in it. This Vapid Saddler will always spawn there, and you'll never have to break in. It's a decent vehicle for working the desert. The other thing about this vehicle is, hello Will, that if you actually do take it out, and I think that this is true, this is sort of a truism for contact missions, is that if you do steal a street vehicle, oftentimes that vehicle, you'll spawn in that vehicle. And I've done it with this particular vehicle and spawned in it. So if you wanted it, that would be one way of obtaining this particular vehicle quite easily. Okay, I'm driving up to the motel here. I called it a hotel earlier, but it's actually a motel. To show one other point, we're actually going to be using a helicopter method to rescue Anna. But there are other methods. You could actually gun your way in, kill all the lost, and then rescue her that way. She'll get on in any kind of vehicle that can seat multiple occupants. But there's another way where you can take this jump here. This is actually a jump. But you have to be going just the right speed. It's actually quite difficult because you have to land on the roof. Oftentimes you'll go too far or too short and you'll slam into the hotel and be fired upon by enemies, alerting them all also. So the other thing that I wanted to mention, I was just showing you that part, is you know, as soon as you spawn into this mission, you're going to want to bring out an attack helicopter of some sort. The vehicle I've chosen for this is the Savage. I'm using my personal Savage, which incurs no cost to generate it, because we're going to take an optimistic standpoint that we're not going to be shot at and lose the aircraft. Note its convenient location. The greatest asset and also the greatest danger for this mission is this particular vehicle, the Savage. And the reason is it's quite easy to make a fatal mistake as a pilot, overestimate your ability, and get into trouble. I recommend not putting up the landing gear and keeping the armaments on the explosive cannon and not switching over to missiles quite yet. And just take it straight over at a low altitude, right over to the roof right here.
You're not welcome here. Go home.
Anna is glad to see us, and she's going to run up and get inside the aircraft. She can be encouraged to... Oh, and the other thing is you're going to want to immediately pull up the landing gear and go straight and get over the water. Found it's the best. Their motorcycles will cluster in and be unable to get to you, but be trying. And if you can get them onto this little peninsula, they will take awesome they'll drive right out into the sea, as you can see there with that one guy. He got into the sea. They'll take jumps out into the ocean, or not the ocean, but the sea to get you. And it's funny. Yeah. Alright. So that's that. Oh, almost that. Okay, you just heard him bail into the sea. Ah, there he is. It's a nice target for us. There he is. Okay. That's all the vehicles. Huh, that is weird, Monster Jam. Now note that you can change your target using the left and R1 and R2 and spam those rockets. It really cleans them up quickly, and you can fix on multiple targets while they're being launched out. There's I don't actually count, I just, you know, go for it. And just kind of feel it out. Essentially, there's a couple dozen enemies inside there, and it's quite satisfying to know that Anna's in there watching, seeing her enemies fall, be sent to the hospital. It helps when you're in the same session, Monster Jam. What you want to do is keep an eye on your status when you're in a particular session. And if your status ever gets to dodgy, do not leave that session under any circumstance. Go somewhere like your apartment, somewhere safe, and don't destroy any more vehicles if you are happening to do that. And then get your friends to join that session and commend you. And that can take you out of bad sport status. Alright, so we're going to just assume that those enemies are dead, and we're going to fly Anna to Madrazo's house. And just to make mention that this is a Madrazo mission for 1 to 4 players. The time of day is fixed at 2100 hours, that's 9 p.m. As you can see, the last remnants of dusk and the reddish glow. It'll stay stuck at that particular sunsetted view for the duration of the mission, no matter how long it lasts. And this particular contact mission opens up at level 45. Well, you know, if other people report you maliciously, whether it's justified or not, they can report you as cheater. It's one of the options. So perhaps the dialogue message was responding to the fact that other players were marking you and reporting you as cheater. That's just my guess, though. Sort of thinking out loud. We're going to lower the landing gear here. You can use a circle button to identify Madrazo's house if you're not quite sure, if you haven't played this mission or Madrazo's missions quite a lot. Just be sure to uncheck it so that you don't get confused, because it's actually quite difficult landing in that particular viewpoint. You'll get close and it'll just get impossible and you'll crash. As you can see, Anna is, she's good at taking cover, and she's a good NPC. I don't know if you know what I mean when I say a good NPC. Never harm you. Quite talkative, actually. And also, just a little bit of trivia, I've seen her outside of the vanilla unicorn, not inside, she's not a stripper, but I did see her outside at least on one occasion in GTA Online. So she's not, it's just interesting to see, you know, sometimes they pop up in weird places. Alright, we should see a max payout here. And I do have a little bit more to talk about once we respawn in. Yeah, and the payout is pretty good at 20,700. And you get a lot of RP if you destroy those enemies. You just want to take it really easy in that Savage and not get overconfident. Alright, good. I'm glad that I spawned here. Don't start up the mission. If you're going to be playing this mission over and over again, don't start it up when you're standing right here. Don't even walk down to that road there. What can happen is if you spawn the mission when you're standing kind of in this nether hill area, oftentimes it'll start you in this place, which is inconvenient. So I recommend running up here. Yeah, and it's nice. It's only certain NPCs that I don't like. There's all sorts of good NPCs. Now, once you're in this driveway, you're good. And we can start up the mission. I'll show you that right now. Just to prove the point. See you, Will. Alright, and here we are, and as you can see, that Rapid's Saddler is still there. Different color. Sometimes it spawns with a bed liner or a bed cover. As you saw before, it had a roll cage that time. And usually I get in right here and immediately spawn that vehicle, Savage. And I just generally kick back here. Yes, you can keep it. And we're going to go down to vehicles here. And I usually just set the apparatus to anti-idle, set it here so I know it's working, and then go down to anti-aircraft trailer. And I'm stuck here until I choose to play. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this mission briefing. This has been Deputy Saucercats. Hope you've enjoyed it. See you next time.